It was slightly less than a year ago when I reviewed and gave the thumbs down on AI music. Well, now I have to pull my foot out of my mouth as the Udio AI music platform is making waves on YouTube and TikTok, and if it stays on this path, it's sure to disrupt the entire record industry next. What up, y'all? Thanks for watching AI Roundup, your weekly digest of all things AI related. I'm your host, Phil Buck, and if you like what we're doing here on the show, please hit that like button and sub to the channel. Okay, so like I said in the teaser, it was back in August of 2023 when I first reviewed an AI music generator. That one was Meta's Music Gen, and at that time I felt that it was really nothing to be excited about or worried about for that matter. Just kind of a neat parlor trick that, hey, they trained a model that can sort of make music. Beyond Music Gen, lots of folks I know, including MMN Discord mod Josh Hobian, have been playing with Suno, which, you know, it's definitely better than Music Gen, but it also leaves quite a bit to be desired. Well, fast forward to 2 weeks ago, and a new model on the scene called Udio is taking the internet by storm with fully generated songs. I want to say thanks to my homie Matt Moyer for hipping me to this new platform, and before we dig into the ramifications, let's just do a quick walkthrough of how this music generator works. Currently, Udio is in beta and entirely free to use with very generous limitations of 600 generations per month. I've been using this non-stop since I found it, and I've only cracked 100 in the last week or so. At first glance, the Udio UI is super simple. You just prompt for a type of music you'd like to hear, as well as what the subject matter of the song is about, and you're off to the races. Udio uses an LLM to generate lyrics for you based on your subject matter, and while the music is quite good, no matter what you prompt, the lyrics are often pretty generic. So that's when you can switch to manual mode and write your own lyrics, and this is where things get really exciting. If you simply prompt for what your song is about and the genre, you get kind of mediocre results, and the moderation is a lot stricter. It should be noted here that it doesn't let you prompt using any artist's name, but that doesn't stop it from recreating some pretty famous voices. Let's put a pin in that and circle back in just a bit. So if you prompt for a song about something unsavory, it's likely that you'll get a moderation warning. But if you prompt for a type of music and then write your own unsavory lyrics, Udio is happy to oblige to some pretty hilarious results. And we'll also circle back to that here in a second. But to keep going with how this all works, once you've entered your prompt, each time you'll get 2 different versions of the song. And if you like the results, you can go into the advanced options and extend it by adding an intro or another segment that falls before or after what you've got, and even an outro. And this is where things can start to fall apart a bit. I found that with some tenacity, you can definitely prompt your way to a solid 2-ish minute song, which, you know, that's that classic pop song sweet spot. But the longer you try to push your music, I found you'll get way more unexpected results. One of the songs I was working on called Sloppy Steve would inevitably end up fading out on each new song segment I tried to generate. I don't know what was going on there. I've had a lot of issues with the lyrics following my prompts, but also generating really like just verbal gibberish to fill up the time if the lyrics didn't quite fit perfectly in the time allotted. Again, these mishaps seem to really happen more often as I try to push the song longer than when I just generate my first little 30-second bit. Okay, so I've been messing with Udio for about a week, and I've honestly been blown away by the results. It creates really high quality, believable, and dynamic tracks, and then the vocals on top are extremely impressive. It uses catchy melodies with your own custom lyrics, and it makes them sound like a professional performer. In fact, so much so that it is a little bit disconcerting. As I said before, the UI won't allow you to prompt for a specific artist, but if you describe the music in a specific way, you're likely to get some very recognizable voices. I prompted for 1960s country and get Johnny Cash, or British pop song, I get the Beatles. 1990s underground Memphis hip hop got me Juicy J and DJ Paul, and even in some obscure references like using chillwave got me a voice that sounds very similar to Chaz Bear of Toro y Moi, one of my favorites. And it's kind of funny because if you go check the Wikipedia for Toro y Moi, one of the first things you'll read is that he was the quote-unquote spearhead of the chillwave genre. So some definitely connections being made there by this LLM or audio LLM, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so more on all that when we wrap up. But before I run out of time, I want to talk about what I've been seeing on the internet as a result of this overpowered AI music generator. Although a friend did clue me into Udio, some viral videos on YouTube are what really put this new development into focus for me. Obscurest Vinyl is an account I've seen on Instagram in my meme community for a while. They've been making hilarious edits of vinyl record covers for some time now, but with the help of Udio, now we're getting to hear some of those records for the first time. And the internet is eating it up. I mean, one of the songs that keeps showing up on my YouTube feed is... Sorry, content warning here, but I glued my balls to my butthole again. And in just the 2 weeks that this song has been out, it has gotten nearly 2 million views at the time of this recording. That is insane. It's honestly amazing to me. Props to Obscurest Vinyl for this. And Obscurest Vinyl has already inspired numerous accounts to do the same type of activity. I keep seeing more and more new accounts popping up with fake vinyl covers and funny songs with, crazy lyrics that sound like real artists that you know. I'm not going to lie. I'm soaking it up. It's really fun. But it does lead to some really interesting and possibly troubling questions, as we talked about earlier. Even though you aren't allowed to prompt for specific artists, Udio is still capable of creating songs that sound uncannily like the artist that you're probably aiming for. And what are the legal ramifications for music that, it's basically using someone's likeness? My guess is that it's not good. Of our story about Dudesy, the Dudesy podcast, they emulated George Carlin to create a new stand-up special. If that's any indicator, there's likely some lawsuits down the line, or at the very least, many cease and desist coming. On top of that, we are still operating in a legal and legislative vacuum when it comes to these AI models that are capable of recreating artists' works and likenesses, and until we get some clarity on the rules, it's going to continue to be like the Wild West on the internet. But if we've seen anything so far, it's the recording industry that has been the fastest to move on these audio deepfakes, if you will. The only real question that remains for me is that although it's clear that Udio's model had to be trained on lots of popular music, did they do this OpenAI style and just scrape everything that they could get their hands on? Or is there a major record label or two actually in business with Udio to create this platform? And that would be really wild. So what do you think about Udio? Have you tried it out yourself? If not, have you already come across some of its output in the wild? Share your thoughts and keep this conversation going in the comments, or join us in the MSP Media Network Discord for a more heated or more nuanced debate. Or even better, drop me some of your Udio songs in the AI Roundup channel. I want to hear them. I can't get enough. All right, and that's it for today's AI Roundup. If you're enjoying what we do here on the show, please hit that like button and sub to the channel. Signing off for this April 24th episode of AI Roundup, I'm Phil Buck, and I'll see you next time.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.
Computers, we never knew what they could do. Ooh, computers, you've gone so far with these algorithms.